Ifeany, are you ready? We're going to have Ifeany join us, and we have some questions for Ifeany. Hey, Ifeany, I think you're muted, like I was.
Thank you. Hi, Christine.
How's it going, Ifeany?
It's going great, and I'm so excited about what God is doing in this conference.
Yes, we are too. All right, so everyone who's joining us on Facebook, this is Ifeany. He is one of our directors in Nigeria. And Ifeany, I'd love to hear a little bit about what has been your experience in discipleship.
Well, discipleship, just like it's we best get as we give it. So my experience has been more like a lot of people around me and in my life who has really poured in, helping me to really be discipled. First of all is my dad, who is a pastor of our church, or in a church. He's been a very great help when it comes to discipling me, because I've watched him and learned a lot from him, really what the discipleship is about. I was born and raised in the church, but it didn't quite make me to be a child of God, because I didn't learn to really follow Jesus that way. I didn't learn to follow Jesus that way, but as he continued to draw me into really going deeper in following Jesus, I began to understand what it really means to be a disciple. Now, it transitioned to when I got to meet Emeka. I've always known him from childhood, but then he traveled to the States and he came back to Nigeria to really settle and reach young people here in Nigeria. And he started talking about Boy with the Ball. And it didn't quite sound like something that was doable, but it actually brought light that this is a more practical way where discipleship can be experienced. And then from there, I met Jamie, I met Anna, I met Christine, and all of the other team members from the global team. And Jamie coming into my life actually brought a lot of things to the surface. I've always lived my life as a child of God, but I haven't really got into practical following and building relationship with other people. But as I began to get discipled by Jamie, Anna, and every other person who is in Boy with the Ball, I started seeing a lot of potentials that I had in me, and it was easy to draw other people closer, and I began to mentor and disciple other people, just like people like Oge, Favor, and some of the boys in Ikirike, who we've seen over time, really, their lives impacted and changed as a result of what we are doing. So it's amazing what my experience has been. And right now, I am still really, really benefiting a lot, because discipleship is not a one-off thing. It's something that continues to go over time.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I have experienced similar things, but I think a key takeaway is for me, this whole day, and as we've kind of been prepping this week, and then even you just said it, it's not just like a one-off. It's not just a once a week coffee thing. It kind of is. It's giving your life and joining your life with someone else's and seeing what the Lord will do and how he will grow them and grow you as a discipler as well. And having been discipled and in discipling others, have seen the tremendous reward in seeing what the Lord does and all of that. So, Ifeany, did I lose you? Is he still there? Oh, there you go. So thanks for sharing that. Can you also give us a quick update on what's happening with you guys in Nigeria? And I know Emeka gave a brief update, but we have you here, and that way people on Facebook can ask you any questions if they have them. But what's going on in Nigeria with you guys? What are you guys up to these days? Yeah. You're muted. Sorry, Ifeany, you're muted.
Well, I would say that really for the Nigerian team of Boy with the Ball, we've experienced a lot of things. Currently, we actually started in 2014 with just a few people coming together, about 6 of us, and we started meeting and praying before we identified a site, which is Ikirike, to begin to work in. But now, God has grown us to a point where we have 3 different sites. One is the farm, Okoto. It's a farm settlement where one of our team members got married to a farm settler, and they began to people who don't have access to education, they don't have access to basic.
Can you hear me? Sorry, we lost you there for a second. Can you start over where you said Favor married a farm settler? We lost your connection.
Okay. All right. So we have the farm team actually started doing something, and that was in 2018. And so we also had another team spring up, which is the UDI team. And it was amazing how these 3 sites began to function at the same time. A little bit in the beginning, it was as if it was going to overwhelm us, but we saw that God actually brought an increase to a point where discipleship, because it's as a result of discipleship. Let me just tell a little bit about what happened. Favor from the farm team just joined us in Enugu while she was doing a kind of tutoring to write an exam, and she started attending our meeting. She got excited with what was happening. At a point, she began to mentor someone in Ikirike. And when she got married and left the city, it was easier for her to think about what has happened in her own life. And she wanted the same experience for the people in that settlement. And that was how that team began. And then it's also interesting that with what happened at UDI, Chiamaka, who is the current site director of UDI, actually saw what we are doing, and she didn't quite understand what we are doing. It seemed like it doesn't so much make sense, because why would you just go out and begin to try to build relationship and friendship with people? It's something unusual. But then when she joined in 1-2 of a program, she really got excited that something began to grow in her. And she said she wanted to also have a team formed at OD. And that's how that team began. So currently, we've experienced a deep level of growth and discipleship happen in Nigeria. And that has really helped us to reach young people at different locations. And we see that there are transformations happening in their lives. Currently, the farm team have been able to start a school just from a tutoring which they did, and they have up to 70 pupils in attendance. And last year during the COVID, the UDI team actually did a great job by just helping about 120 kids to stay updated with their education instead of just losing completely, by giving them daily tutoring. And it was amazing, because since then, we've seen growth happen. And also, since COVID, we've been able to also use technology to keep in touch and keep discipleship moving. And it's incredible what we see happen.
That's great. All right, so I have a couple questions for you that have come in. One is, how do you guys stay in touch with your multiple sites? So I know having been there, some are closer than others, but how do you guys keep in touch with your other teams that you are discipling and managing?
Okay. We actually get on weekly calls with the team leaders to make sure that we are caring for them. And then from time to time, we also visit, like sometimes we visit the OD team weekly. And then the farm, because it is farther from where we stay, sometimes it could be once in a month or however it works. So we first of all register our presence, and then we keep in conversation with them to know what they are doing and make sure that they are being cared for.
That's great. All right, I have one more question for you. And then I'll release you to your small group. That way you can still join them for a part of it. What are you hoping for this weekend? Like, what are you hoping to see or happen for you?
For me, I really hope that this weekend will just be like a time for the fire to be rekindled in me. I just want God to give me more clarity, and the same for my team too, so that there will be more clarity, which will really lead to more commitment. And then, just like Jamie would say, the team coach and playing field can easily play out, and it's not just about what we say but in our actions, because one thing I know is that out there in the community there are a lot of young people who actually need help, and all they need is just someone who will come alongside. So I believe this weekend really would spark up that fire again to help us really accomplish a lot in the coming weeks and months.
That's great. Thank you, Ifeany.